Hey book nerds, welcome to my channel. So today I'm filming one of my favourite videos, and that is my 2019 releases to read in 2020. There are even more 20s this year. So if you don't know, last year I made it a goal to read 2018 releases, and that went really well. I ended up finding a lot of new favourite books. And it was just a really nice way for me to not forget about new releases. So I'm doing the same this year. I've picked 2019 releases and I'm going to try to read them all in 2020. Because there are so many of these books, I will be giving minimal descriptions. I've also talked about them a lot before. And the basic reason I want to read all of these is because they sound amazing and they've got great reviews, and I think I will love them. So I'm going to try and cut down on the faff, and I will start going through the list. I will say as well, there is a huge range of genres here, so there's quite a lot of thrillers, quite a lot of horror, but there's also some contemporary books. It kind of reflects everything I read, really. Yeah. The first book on the list is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. This is about a woman who is apartment sitting in a very posh building, and I think she finds out that everyone else in the building is also apartment sitting. She makes friends with one of these girls, and then that girl tells her there's a secret about the apartment building, and then she vanishes. So it's a creepy thriller. I've loved all of Riley Sager's work, and I don't think this will be any exception. The next book is Smoke and Key by Kelsey Sutton. This is a sort of dark fantasy. It's about a person who wakes up in essentially purgatory, or the afterlife, you're not really sure which. There's a whole bunch of them, and each person is only identified by a single object that they have with them. So for example, a key around the neck, so one of them has a journal, it's called Journal, and then someone starts murdering them in this weird afterlife type setting, and once they've been murdered they stay permanently dead. We have The Similars by Rebecca Hanover. This is about a girl who attends boarding school. It's sort of a sci-fi story, and 6 students start at the boarding school who are all clones of people. I don't know if they're all dead, some of them are dead. And one of the clones is a clone of her dead best friend, a guy called Oliver, and she's basically trying to avoid interacting with the clones, and some weird stuff going on. The Devouring Grey by Lynn Herman. This is about Violet, who moves to this kind of small town, and she is related to one of the founding fathers of this town. She befriends all the other children of the founding fathers, or grandchildren, great descendants of the founding fathers. And then there's something creepy going on in the forest beyond the town, and some kind of horror-based secret. The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. This is about Rowan, who takes up a nannying position in this posh house. She has been arrested for the murder of one of the children, and it's told from her writing letters about what actually happened in the house from prison. So you kind of unfolds what's happening, so it's a thriller. The Dead Girls Club by Damien and Angelica Waters. This is about, I don't know if it's told in 2 time perspectives, but it's a horror book, and in 1991 there were these group of girls who were obsessed with all these ghost legends, and there was one legend of the Red Lady, and then one of them ended up dying, and it's 30 years later. One of the girls who's still alive, Heather, she's our main character I presume, and she apparently, it says on the blurb, killed this other girl because of the Red Lady, and the Red Lady is real. So creepy horror stuff going on, told in 2 time periods, a lot of great stuff. We have The Best Lies by Sarah Lou. This is about a girl whose best friend has killed her boyfriend, as in the main character's boyfriend, and she's trying to uncover why. It's sort of a young adult thriller. It's not got great reviews, but I love that premise, and honestly I think I will really love this. Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Not my usual genre, this is a contemporary, but everyone knows what this book is. It's about this girl who was part of a band, and it's about the band and they broke up, and I think it's told through like all the interviews and all this kind of stuff. I don't really know too much about the actual plot. Similar to Evelyn Hugo, but when I went in to Evelyn Hugo blind, it worked really well, so I want to do the same for this pretty much. Next we have No Exit by Taylor Adams. This is a thriller about a student who's driving on the roads when she gets caught in a blizzard. So she pulls into a rest stop and there's a couple of people stranded and there's no phone signal, there's no way of contacting anyone, and she notices that one of the cars outside the gas station has a child locked in an animal crate in the back of it. So one of these people has kidnapped this little girl and she doesn't know who it is and she's stuck with them. It sounds so good. Next we have Our Year of Maybe by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This sounds really interesting. This is a contemporary. It's about Peter and Sophie, who are two teenagers. And Sophie's always been in love with Peter, they're best friends. One day Peter needs some kind of organ transplant, so Sophie gives him, I think it's one of her kidneys. And then this is about their relationship afterwards. So she's still in love with him. He feels this weird sense of debt to her, but he's also starting to fall for this other guy. And their lives are kind of making them grow apart. I just thought this sounded fascinating. It sounds like a really unique contemporary story, and I'm really interested to see what it does with that premise. We are halfway through now, and we have House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. So this is supposedly a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses. It's kind of like a dark fantasy. I don't know if it's quite horror, but it sounds kind of horror from the premise. So this is about a kind of castle by the sea, and these 12 daughters all live in there, and 4 of them have died in increasingly horrific accidents / ways. And there's a rumour that they're all cursed, and there's something to do with like what they're dancing with at night. It's a bit vague, the blurb, which is how I like it. It sounds really cool, heard great reviews, and I'm really excited to read this one. Next we have Here There Are Monsters by Amelinda Bérubé. This is about 2 sisters, Skye and Deirdre, I believe. Yeah, Skye and Deirdre. And Deirdre is the younger sister and she becomes obsessed with the swampy forest. They move into a new house and there's like this forest behind this house. And then Deirdre vanishes and Skye has something visit her at night, scratching on her window, telling her that she knows how to get her sister back. I think this is just straight up horror, young adult, and there might be thriller elements. It seems like there's some kind of psychological thing going on as well with the codependency of the sisters, but it just sounds really, really cool. This next one sounds so fun. It is Going Off Script by Jen Wilde. This is about a girl who becomes an intern at one of her favourite TV shows, and she writes a script for this TV show, and the producer takes the script and pretends it's her own script, but our main character wrote one of the characters as a lesbian, and the producer has changed that character to be straight. So our main character goes on like this quest to kind of sabotage the TV show and get it written the way that she intended the script to be written. It sounds really fun. Next book's another contemporary, and that is Everything Grows by Aimee Herman. This is one of my favourite covers. I love this cover so much. This is about Eleanor. It is set in the 90s, and it's about she's 15 and her school bully has just killed himself, and she's not really sure how to deal with that emotionally. They get a assignment, I think, for English where they have to write letters to a dead person, and she picks her old bully to write these letters to, and I think it's about her kind of coming to terms with that kind of grief, as well as a couple of her own identity things. I think there's some queer rep in here. I'm pretty sure she might be trans. The blurb just seems to imply that. I don't know about that for sure, but yeah, it's just, I love this cover. It's like the gayest cover ever. Next we have another horror. We have The Invited by Jennifer McMahon. I don't know how you say that. This came out way at the start of January of last year. This is about a couple who build a haunted house. So they don't move into one, they build it from scratch, and that's just such a cool twist on the haunted house idea for me. I don't know anything else about it beyond that, but honestly I don't need to. The next book is The Grace Year by Kim Liggett. This is, I guess you classify it as like a sci-fi dystopian type thing. So this is set in a world where when girls, I think it's when they turn either 15 or 16, but for the year after that age, they are considered to be unbelievably attractive to men, I guess. So men can't control themselves around them, and women become like insanely jealous and will like try to kill them because of that. And basically when girls hit this age, they are banished for 1 year until this grace year passes. And this is about a group of girls who've gone on this grace year, and there's people who will try to poach them out when they're out in the wilderness, and there's also people who will like it's also about like them fighting within their group and the dynamics of that. Next we have another horror. We have The Haunting of Henderson Close by Catherine Cavendish. I've heard nothing but good things about this. Again, it came out last January. This is about a girl who works on a ghost walk in Edinburgh, and then she starts seeing real ghosts and real creepy stuff starts happening. I just think that sounds amazing. Next we have Bright Burning Stars by A.K. Small. This is a contemporary. It sounds pretty much identical to, is it Tiny Pretty Things is the first one, and then it's like Shiny Broken Pieces. This is about a group of, or two girls who go to a ballet school, and they start off friends, and then basically they're both competing for the same roles and the same guy, and it's like a bleak contemporary about the dissolution of their friendship. And I think there's some like thriller elements in there in terms of the way they'll escalate interacting with each other. So we have Hot Dog Girl by Jennifer Dugan. This is about a girl who starts working at, essentially it's like Disneyland sort of theme park. There's a lot going on. So she's got a crush on a guy, she's got a best friend who I think is queer, who from the blurb point obviously has a crush on our main character, and there's some other stuff going on. The park's about to close down. It's basically contemporary, just about this group of people working at the park and trying to figure out their romantic relationships. And the final book is All Eyes on Us by Kit Frick. So this is a contemporary. It's been described as like, I guess it's more like a young adult thriller actually. There are these two girls. There is Amanda and there is Rosalie, and there's a guy called Carter, and Amanda is dating Carter, I think, or yes, but then Carter is dating Rosalie secretly, but Rosalie is actually gay and not out and using Carter as like a beard. And then they both girls get a anonymous text from a number threatening to kind of out their secrets. I'm not sure what Amanda's secret is actually. Maybe they've both found out about the relationship, but anyway, the point is this anonymous texter ropes them in to take down Carter. So the girls team up with this anonymous person to take down the golden boy of the school. It was very convoluted. I've read other stuff by Kit Frick and it was written really well, so I'm looking forward to reading more thrillery stuff by them, and I'm hoping it'll be quite good. So yeah, so those are the 20 books that were released in 2019 that I'm hoping to read in 2020. Let me know if you've read any of these. I know some of you have definitely read some of them because I got them from your videos. And I know a lot of these people might be surprised I haven't read yet, which is why they're on this list. But yeah, if you think there's any I shouldn't read, I'm probably still going to read them, but I would also like to know your opinions about that as well. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, it helps me out massively. And I hope to see you next time.